Muslims, then how are you going to deal with them, right? So the objectives of these lessons is to understand 7 important points. In these lessons, the author has come up with 7 important points. We're going to go through this. The 7 important points relating to adjusting, participating, and becoming a part of the Muslim community, and some tips and pitfalls related to them. Right? So this is the objectives of this lesson. And then before we start the lessons, normally the author would introduce some of the Arabic terms. Why do we learn Arabic terms? Because the language of Arabic language, is the language of this religion. Right? The Quran is revealed in Arabic. The Prophet is an Arab. He spoke Arabic. So it is important to learn Arabic language. Right? And here the author, he introduced some of the Arabic terms, because when you become Muslim, you are going to exposed to a lot of Arabic terms. The Muslims will come and talk to you in some of the Arabic words. Right? So the first one he introduced here is called Sunnah. Sunnah. Sunnah, I'm sure a lot of people hear about this, right? If you, some of the Muslim will tell you, oh brother, this is Sunnah, you should do this. This food is also Sunnah, you should eat it. What is this Sunnah, right? So a lot of people confuse, what is Sunnah? So Sunnah, the word Sunnah has several meanings, depending on the area of study. However, the meaning is generally accepted to be whatever was reported that the Prophet said, did, or approved. Right? Generally, when someone says Sunnah, it means 3 things. What the Prophet said, what he did, his actions, and then what he has approved. Approved means what? Approved means he did not do it, he did not say it, but he has seen someone doing it and he has approved it. Meaning what? He did not say, hey, you should not do it, this is haram. Because as a prophet, if a sin is committed in front of him, he must warn that person. Because he is sent as a warner as well, not just a glad tidings messengers, also as a warner. So if you see something wrong done in front of him, it is his duty, he must warn the person, say, oh, you cannot do this. So if he did not say anything, he saw it, and he just silent about it, then it becomes approval. So it becomes also a sunnah. So it means you can also do it. Does it make sense? Okay? So something that he said, his statement, something he has done, because sometimes he did something, he did not say it, he just do it, right? And then something that he has proved it. So these 3 categories is classified as sunnah. Actually, there's a 4th one, but the author didn't mention here, but it's okay. It's not related to this lesson. So there are 3 things here, right? So just every time when someone tell you, this is a sunnah, sister, this is a sunnah. So immediately you think, okay, this must be something that the Prophet have said or have done, or he has approved it. So it means you should do it. You should try your best to do it. All right? The next term is haram. Haram is prohibited. This one I think Malaysians here, I think you have heard this word before, haram, right? Because the Bahasa Malaysia also haram, right? So if you're Malaysian, automatically you know what is haram. Haram means prohibited, right? So when someone says, brother, this is haram, you know, means you cannot do it. So there are 2 words here, okay? Sunnah and haram. Any other words that you have heard of but you don't understand, you want to ask now? No? Really? Okay. Wow, it's a good class. Very easy. Best class. Okay, let us begin. Part of practicing Islam is to participate in the community of faithful in communal worship. Like any faith community, it has certain characteristics, some good and bad. The purpose of this lesson is to help you in the process of adjusting and becoming part of the Muslim community. So like I mentioned just now, when you become Muslim, I remember when I say my Shahada, after that, you know, you have to, almost immediately, you have to start adjusting to the environment. Why? Because after the Shahada session, people start come and hug you. Oh, it's not my culture. getting hugs from men. Oh. So you immediately have to adjust. So how do you adjust? So this is why this lesson is gonna somehow give us some tips to see how we should adopt this new community. Okay. First and foremost, before you meet Muslims, you should keep in mind that Islam is perfect, while Muslims are not. There are, after all, humans. You will find some Muslims who will be easy to get along with and will make great friends, while you will also run into others who you might feel are insensitive or offensive. So yes, first and foremost, Islam, the religion, is perfect. Okay? Because Allah is perfect. So His religion is perfect. But the followers, the Muslims like us, the followers, we are not perfect. Why? Because we are humans. We will commit sin, right? We will make some stupid mistakes. So when you become Muslims, the first thing you must tell yourself that Muslims are not perfect. You're not going to meet Muslim and this person is going to practice Islam perfectly. You are not going to meet someone like this. At the same time, you will also meet a lot of sinful Muslims. So you must bear in mind that, don't think that, or just because you meet someone who is committing a lot of sin and then you start to think, this guy is very bad. Don't be judgmental. You must bear in mind that I'm part of the family now. These are all my family members. Right? So you will meet someone who are not perfect, definitely. And you will meet some pious people. And there are some pious people also, you will think that, wow, very pious. But you will find some flaws. Right? They are not perfect as well. Because Islam is a religion where we must learn to live together. Islam is not about staying in the masjid alone. Oh, now I become Muslim, I want to be pious, I want to get closer to Allah, so I just stay in the masjid alone, read the Quran, salah, sleep there and do nothing but stay in the masjid. No, Islam is not like that. Right? Islam encourages us to live as a community. Right? Interact with each other, struggle with human beings. You will get reward from Allah. Just struggling with human beings, you will get reward. Right? So this is Islam. Islam does not encourage people to live alone. Encourage us to live in jama'ah. Jama'ah means in a group. Okay? Yeah. You do not have to be the best of friends with every Muslim you see, even if they are pious. Muslims differ in their education, knowledge and practice of Islam, cultural sensitivity and social bias. Among them are saints and criminals, homeless and millionaires, doctors and cab drivers, racists and drug addicts. Yes, so you will find a lot of different people. Muslims are everywhere in the world. As you travel, you will meet many Muslims. Some Muslims are millionaires. Some Muslims are billionaires. Some Muslims lives in the street. I think cab drivers here in the US, cab drivers are mostly Muslims. So you will meet many types of Muslims. You will learn many things which Islam preaches, but you will see fellow Muslims doing the opposite. All Muslims are not the same. There are imperfect. It's a simple point worth keeping in mind. Choose as friends those Muslims who are pious, actively follow the tenets of the religion, and also are easy to get along with. So the whole point of this paragraph, or the first point, the author is trying to say is, you will meet many types of Muslims, but we should choose someone who can bring us closer to Allah. Someone macam a mentor lah. Find a mentor, someone that you think you can look up to, someone you think you can learn Islam from, someone you can practice Islam with together, right? So find someone like that, and you can get along as well, right? This is a good example. You have a class here, you meet strangers here, eventually you become Muslims, for example. You will find some of your colleagues your classmates here, some of them are very gung-ho. They want to study a lot more. So maybe you want to be with friends with them so that you can go classes together, for example. Because coming classes alone sometimes very not very motivating, right? So if you have a friends like pull you together, like text you on Friday night, hey, let's go to Al Khadim tomorrow, like that. So you feel motivate a bit, right? After class, no, we go makan lah, like that, right? So you feel like, okay lah, you have a gang, right? So this is a good example. So pick a friends, right? Or if you need a mentor, Al Khadim here we also have a mentor program. So if you need a sister, you need a mentor, you can talk to the sister. So they will assign someone for you. Brothers as well. You can talk to the brother section, they can assign someone for you. Someone you can always ask questions. Like if you have questions, talk to this person. Like I want to learn something. Or where should I go? Any new classes? Talk to him. I want to look for halal Chinese food. I'm a Chinese, I want Chinese food. Become Muslim every day, makan nasi Melayu. Nasi campur, cannot tahan. So I want a Chinese food. Where can I find Chinese food? Talk to a friend. So if you need a mentor, by all means. So this is the whole first chapter is all about. Look for good friends, friends that can motivate you become better Muslims. Okay? Because many of the times when you become Muslims, after you say your Shahada, you don't know where to learn. I know this is a place, but sometimes you're like, I have a questions. Who do I ask? Right? Sometimes you need answers right away. You're not going to wait 1 week after that come to class and ask questions. And many people come to this class, they're shy, they don't ask questions. Malaysian, right? They're shy, don't ask questions. Right? They ask questions, they like to ask personal, right? So if you have a mentor, it's easy, right? Second, most mosques and communities are socially and racially integrated. But there are others which may found in locations where certain ethnic groups are majority, whether it be African, Indian, Pakistani, Bengali, Bosnian or Arabs. Others may have been built to meet the needs of the certain ethnic community, or other reasons more cultural than religious. So yes, majority of the masjid in the world, okay, let's talk about Malaysia since we are in Malaysia. So you will see masjid here is built by the Malay, right? So you will find it very Malay-centric. So if you go to the masjid, if you are a Chinese, become Muslim, you go to the masjid, you feel very, very outsiders. So I remember the first time when I become Muslims, I don't even dare to go to the Friday prayer because I don't know how. Then very scary, right? You go there, everyone pakai songkok, baju Melayu. I don't have songkok, right? I don't have baju Melayu. So I thought this is like compulsory, you must wear like that, right? So you feel very uneasy, uncomfortable. So this is something that you must keep in mind. Masjid is always built by the ethnics. So if the majority, like if you go to, when I went to Perth, for example, Australia, you will see they are very Pakistani, because a lot of Pakistan there, right? They built the masjid, right? You go to Hong Kong, for example, very Pakistani, very Indonesian, because majority of the Muslims in Hong Kong, they are Indonesian, right? They're Pakistani. So very ethnic focus. So don't feel uncomfortable, or if you do, be prepared that you will have this kind of feeling, right? Sorry? I haven't been to China, unless you count Hong Kong as China. So yeah, if you go to China, so I'm sure the masjid there is very Chinese-centric as well. Yeah. College and university mosques tend to be more integrated. Yes, the University of Islam in Malaysia here, if you go to the masjid, you will see very integrated, because the Islamic university here in Malaysia, all kind of ethnics, right, from around the world. So even the Friday prayer, sometimes they speak in English, sometimes they speak in Arabic. So they're more integrated. Due to lack of integrations between various ethnic groups, you may find that certain stereotypes may have been developed between members of various races, such as white, Arabs, blacks, Asians, and Latinos. Many of these stereotypical opinions have developed due to various reasons, amongst them TV, movies. Moreover, immigrant Muslims come from diverse cultures and may not totally understand or relate to Muslims of other countries, and for that matter, new Muslims. So yes, so if you have become Muslim and then you start entering the masjid here, they may not know how to handle you, because they have not seen Chinese Muslim come into the masjid. They may not know how to talk to you, they don't know how to deal with you. So you may feel a bit alone, right? Because you will see that a lot of even activities in the masjid are very Malay-centric. Okay, so you may not be able to able to immediately integrate with them. So it takes time. So if you are not Malaysian, so you will even take more effort to integrate with them, right? So a lot of Filipinos become Muslims here, right? For example, Japanese become Muslims here. They go to the masjid, they feel very uncomfortable, right? But don't just be patient and start to understand why they are behaving there, right? So the whole point of second paragraph here is telling us we must understand why they are behaving that, because the masjid is built according to the ethnics. They have been like this for many years. It's not just 10 years, many years. So a lot of even practices in the masjid very Malay-centric. All right. Third, new Muslims may have some reasonable and some unreasonable expectation. Some rightly complain of social isolations or lack of quality educational programs for those who have newly embraced the religion. Some with financial problems expect immediate monetary help from the Muslims community, a demand usually difficult to meet. It is a good idea to find a family that will adopt the new Muslims and find them grow and develop social bonds. Yeah, so even when you become Muslims, you also have different expectations. And there are also different expectations from the Muslims community from you, right? So like I remember when I become Muslims, right? Then they'll start, immediately you must memorize Fatiha. You must learn how to pray. Like the Muslims already. They expect you to read the Fatiha like the Muslim. You never, your tongue, my tongue has never been reading any Arabic word, right? It's all Chinese tongue. This is Chinese tongue, right? So don't know how to read. But some they have very high expectation. They want you, ni tajwid salah ni, tak sah. Fatiha tak boleh. If you cannot read the Fatiha, your prayer is not valid. You have to pray again. Very high expectation, right? So you must know how to deal with them, because there are people like that. Many Muslims, they have different expectation. Some people, even like the new Muslims, they also complain. Where should I learn? This place is not good. I don't like this ustad. This ustad talks so many things I don't understand. Those days when I become Muslims 13 years ago, it's tough. Yeah. This is the only place I learned, because this is the only place that offer English lectures. Because Ustad Husseini, he is the one who speaks English. Other than that, if you go outside, it's all in Malay, and sometimes it depends where the Ustad comes from. If he's from Kelantan, the Malay you don't understand. I'm from Sabah. My Malay is also different, right? So when I attend the Malay lectures, it's very difficult. They make jokes. The Ustad make jokes from Kelantan. He makes a joke. The whole audience laugh. I'm the only one don't understand. I ask my guy, what is he talking about? So if you cannot follow the lectures, then what's the point of sitting there, right? So yes, but now alhamdulillah, after so many years, we have many programs for the new Muslims. We have many places that offer English lectures. Even Jakim also, they managed to get reverts to teach also new Muslims class in Mandarin, in English. Some is in Cantonese. Nowadays, even if you watch YouTube, so many different ustads can speak different language. I remember there's one sister calling me to ask for a Filipino, a Tagalog lectures. I can even get a YouTube for her, because I know of a Filipino brothers who he is teaching in Filipino in Tagalog. So see, it's alhamdulillah, we have classes, many classes. So all you need to do is have reasonable expectations. Have reasonable expectation. Some programs you may need to pay. Some programs are free. If you ask me, I actually prefer program that is not free. You have to pay. Why? Because free program, what I notice, people come and go. Today you come because it's free. Next week you may not come. Right? Sometimes you come late because it's free. Right? What if this class is 2,000 per class and you pay for it, 2,000 ringgit per class? I think you will come half an hour early and sit very in front here. Correct or not? Correct or not? But people say if 2,000, maybe one person will attend only. No, not full. Yeah, so the price must be right. To me, there must be some fees to make you feel like you are being pinched. Then you will come. Then when I ask you to do homework, you will do. When I ask you to memorize something, you will memorize. Then I said when there's an exam, you will study and sit for the exam. Correct? Otherwise, I said exam next week, empty. Confirm.com. Right? Because it's free, So anyway, right? And then you're gonna meet a lot of Muslims also. When you become Muslims, they want you to help. You go to the masjid, you go to the surau in many of the shopping mall, you will see saudara baru, come donate. Right? You will see people like this. I hope you're not one of them. But if you do, if you need financial help, you can always go to Pusat Zakat, right? They can help the new Muslims. Okay? Fourth. We finished third, right? In social gatherings, be prepared to repeat your conversion or reversion story often. If you are asked an inappropriate questions, just say you don't feel comfortable discussing it. Many Muslims don't have experience dealing with new Muslims, and thus may not be sensitive to certain issues or questions. Yes. So as a new Muslims, be prepared to tell your story why you become Muslim. Million times. Okay? When I say million times, I really literally mean million times. Okay? Some people, they feel so frustrated until they write a book and publish the book. And then the people ask, why you become Muslim? Go buy my book. Or they make a YouTube video. So, why you become Muslim? Go watch the video. But it's okay. Just sometimes I've been asked million times, literally. So the more you talk about it, you will meet more people. So you will get a lot of questions. So just be prepared. Why you keep your beard? Why? Why beard? Why beard so long one? Why wear like that? Why cover your hair? Your hair not nice, man. Like that. So you prepare to repeat your questions. Even in social gathering, you go lunch also sometimes. Your colleagues all finish lunch already. You still talking about your reversion story. Your noodle is still here waiting for you. You're still talking. They all like listening and they will finish their lunch. So be prepared. You will repeat. Today you talk about it. Tomorrow lunch you talk again. Right? Normally in my company, what I normally do is after I have talked a few more times, then I said, why don't I organize a lunch and learn? Everyone bring food. I sit in the meeting room. Who wants to listen? Come to the room. I speak one go. Okay, and then you also get many questions from the non-Muslim as well. Non-Muslim will also ask you, why you become Muslim? Why so stupid one? Like that. They ask you, why so stupid? Very harsh question. So that's why the paragraph here says, sometimes you may get very uncomfortable questions. So depends. Here it says, just say you are not comfortable talking about it. But my advice is, you see, you judge. Use your wisdom. If the guy is your best friend or one of the very close colleague, sometimes you know the Chinese, when we speak very harsh. Hey, why are you so stupid? Become Muslim. Then I say, yeah, I'm not smarter than you. Then you start the conversation. So it depends. So use your wisdom. If he's really harsh on you, if you're not comfortable, then you say, okay, I'm not comfortable talking. But if you have the knowledge, you start talking, no problem. But don't harsher than him, right? Because then you'll be like him, right? You don't want to be like him. You want to speak soft, right? I remember it happened to me. One of my colleagues, in my ex-colleague, he's like a manager position, and he's like very much elder than me. Oh, he said, Adam, so stupid, you become Muslim. Oh, one of these days we must go lunch. I must punch you. I said, okay, and then go lunch. Immediately sat down, haven't even ordered food yet. He already punched. Wow, why so stupid? You become Muslim. I said, order first lah, way. But after the lunch, when we went back to the office, he went around telling his secretary. He said, Adam, good man. Different, he changed his mindset and good man. He even asked me to become Muslim, just now. He said, good man. You must learn from him. So depends. If you feel comfortable, you talk. If you're not comfortable, then don't talk. Okay? The whole point here is jangan cari kado lah. Don't fight. Okay? Talk nicely. Fourth, many times you will be given advice on matters of Islamic belief and practice, whether the advice be Islamically correct or incorrect. You should realize that every Muslim is not an expert on Islamic law or creed. Being an Arab does not automatically qualify a person to interpret the Quran. The majority of Muslims have not undergone any formal study or practice and practice Islam according to what they were taught from youth by the elders of their family. It's true. So also, as a new Muslim, immediately you will get a lot of, everywhere you go, especially you go to the surah, or you go to the masjid, you start taking wudu, and then the people see you, they will start give you opinion already. No, don't wash like that. You wash like that. You wash like that. You wash from here, from there. Then you start praying, you say, no, you follow me. Come, you follow me. You stand next to me. They give a lot of opinion. I remember the first time I went to a surah. The first time I opened the surah, all the people there look at me. Tandas sebelah kanan. The toilet is on the right. Because normally the surah and the toilet, they're next to each other. They thought I entered the wrong room. The toilet at the side. I said, no, I'm here to pray. So, Muslim not Muslimah, Muslim. Muslimah is the female Muslim. Then they say, saudara baru. Then they start teaching. No, your shoe you put here. Come down, take wudu like that. You must learn properly, like that. Until today, I supposed to get this. Until today. Just recently, last week. I prayed next to a Malay guy. After that, he showed me. You must learn properly. You pray like that. I said, okay. Even the janggut so long, Still, I get lecture. Alhamdulillah. I said, never mind. Never mind. Alhamdulillah. But yeah, you will get this. Even after 13 years, you get. Yeah. I've seen many. You have seen many. The more you deal with, you will meet a lot of people trying to help you. But alhamdulillah, mashallah, because the Malay Muslims, the Malaysian Muslim, the Malay especially, they are very helpful. Very helpful. They want to help. At the same time, some also very shy. But those are helpful and they really go all out and help you. So you haven't become Muslim, right? Once you be prepared. You'll be helped. You have tattoo here, you will get a lot of opinion. Tell you, tattoo haram. Go laser. Yes. So you said, never mind, just sticker. Tell them, sticker. So use your wisdom, okay, to deal with them. Because everyone will give you opinion. Everyone is fatwa. Everyone can give you fatwa. Suddenly everyone become mufti. Don't know why like that one. Huh? Sorry. Fatwa is it's scholarly opinion. Scholarly opinion on a religion on a Islamic practice. Yeah. So it's an opinion. It's opinion. It's opinion. It's opinion. That's why fatwa differ in every countries. Because when a mufti issue a fatwa, he has to use his wisdom to look at the society. Okay, it may not be. Sometimes it may not be following exactly the hukum. Then you will feel like, hey, this fatwa is totally wrong. Yeah, if you look at it, but because the mufti is giving a bird's eye view, he has to look at the society. He has to judge according to what is happening at that time. Okay? Never mind, that's a separate topic. Okay. Yes, and majority of the Muslims, you will notice majority of the Muslims, they don't even know 5 pillars of Islam. Basic knowledge. Ask them, how many pillars of Islam? 5. Okay, very good. Can you tell me? Then cannot tell already. How many rukun iman? 5. I thought 6. Oh, yeah lah, 6. 6 or 7 lah. Like that. Majority of people don't know. Seriously, you can do a survey. Ask. Just ask. How many people know here? I know. Every week, if I ask question. How many? Some still say 6. Some say still 5. Like that. Then ask them to list them down. Cannot already. Tough. But when it comes to teaching the new Muslim, everyone become ustaz. They want to teach. Let me. Come, I teach. Because they feel like when I guide someone, I get a lot of pahala, a lot of reward. Which is true, alhamdulillah. So you will hear a lot of different opinion. One guy tell you this, the other guy come and say, no, that guy is wrong. You don't learn from that guy. That guy is wrong one. You learn from me, like that. Like that. Okay. Many Muslims' practices over time have been influenced by culture, and many times they actually conflict with true tenets of religion. Some Muslims may unknowingly have been influenced by some sects regarded heretical, or much worse, some may actually attribute to them. You might become confused by the multiple opinions you may hear. With time and some knowledge, you will be able to distinguish between the two. It will make your life easier if you ignore, for the time being at least, the advice of a person who fails to provide any evidence. All beliefs and practices in Islam must be taken from the Quran or a confirmed Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Also try to get some well-known websites and reputable people of knowledge as a reference. Right? So the whole point again of this paragraph is you will meet a lot of Muslims telling you this and this. Don't do this, do this. You will get confused at one point of your life, right? Like I got confused. Right? Then after that you start thinking, is this Malay thing or is this an Islamic thing? You start to confuse. Some people say, no, itu wearing songkok ni Melayu, nothing to do with Islam. And then one guy says, no, you must wear songkok. Sekarang you sudah Melayu. I thought sekarang saya Muslim. Sama lah. Like that. So you feel very confused. You feel very confused. You feel very confused. And then some people will even tell you something and then without any reference. They will tell you, do this, but it's not in the Quran. It's not in the Sunnah, right? It's not in the way of the Prophet. They just say you must do this. This is part of the religion. Some people, they believe the culture has become the religion. But inshallah, when you learn properly, you will eventually be able to differentiate. You will be able to distinguish. Okay? You'll be able to do it. So the point here is be patient with them, and at the same time learn the proper way, and then you will be able to distinguish the different opinions, and it's easier for you to integrate with the Muslim community after this. Fifth, don't be discouraged by Muslims who are too aggressive in approaching you. Some people might attempt to teach you everything they know in an hour. Somehow they feel it's their duty to tell you what they feel is the most important haram you must rid your life of. They lack wisdom, patience, and perhaps knowledge. Do not be deterred. Find a teacher you are comfortable with. Yes. Like what happened to myself, right? Immediately when I said Shahada, I said, oh, no more babi, ya. Tak boleh makan babi, ya. Immediately they said, no more pig. Huh? Cannot eat pork only. No, eat pork. No. Everything pig, cannot even say it. You can only spell it. P-A-B-I. Cannot say. Spell only. So everything becomes immediately haram. So I always tell my Malay friends, I said, when you deal with a new Muslims, a revert, right, you must understand his background, right? Just like he also need to understand your background. I said, I understand why you immediately like, oh, cannot. Because in your whole life, you have not even seen a pig. I mean, for real one, you have not a picture maybe lah, right? Suddenly you have pork, you cannot, right? But you also need to understand, as a revert, the whole life is pig, Suddenly you cannot eat pig. It's tough, right? It's tough. Just like smokers, smokers, you ask him to quit smoke. You know how difficult to quit smoking? I was a smoker, I know. Very difficult to quit smoking. So no smoking. You're so stupid that you still smoke, huh? Actually, they want to quit, but it's tough. It's not easy. Drinker, same thing. I have a Mat Saleh, Scottish boss, ex-boss before. He become Muslims, right? He still drink. And then I got a lot of Malay colleagues come to me and say, Adam, you're going to advise him, become Muslim and still drink. I said, he is 55 years old, Whole life he's been drinking, Suddenly become Muslim, you want him to stop just like that? You think what? Huh? You think what? You think he's a robot? Can just switch like that? Right? So you must also understand. Give him time, right? If you're sincere, help him. Right? Don't kutuk from behind. No point. When he says Shahada, everyone become one big family. You will not kutuk your own children, right? If you have your children make something bad, are you going to kutuk? And then go and tell your friends, my son are so stupid. You will not, right? So do the same thing to your brother now, right? Don't kutuk. Right? So if you are sincere, go and talk to him. Help him. Ask him, is there anything that I can help to help you quit? Right? Give him some time. You must understand he's been drinking his whole life, Probably when he was born also. You don't know. Right? He's Scottish. Come on. Right? It's not Malaysian. So I understand you. Your whole life you have not even drink one drop of alcohol. Of course, to you it's GG lah, right? But understand from the other side. So same thing. This paragraph is saying you will find a lot of people coming and tell you. Because the Malay, when it comes to haram, I tell you, it's a big no-no. Big no-no. So they'll tell you, for the man, you will get it. Must do this first. First thing, do this first. So then you're like, right. Don't even know where to go. Shy to ask also, right? Every time they meet you, already done or not? Not yet, cannot pray, your prayer not valid. It's true, but for the revert, the hukum is different. They give time for the revert. He needs time to settle his life. 6. Many new single Muslim sister. This point is for the sister. Many new single Muslim sisters may feel an intense pressure to get married. There is no doubt that marriage is an important part of Islamic life. But allow yourself some time to adjust in the new faith and learn the proper etiquette of Islamic life and marriage. Finding a compatible and practicing spouse is likely to help a new Muslims in learning and practicing Islam. But there is no need to rush into marriage and end up in divorce. This point for the sister who become Muslim. If you don't have a boyfriend now, once you become Muslim, suddenly very laku one, I tell you. A lot of Malay men will come and approach you. So yes, you will get this. Actually, men also, you will feel also. Once you become Muslim, don't know why. The born Muslim, they like the different breed of Muslim. New Muslim, they like different breed. So they will come. They come and propose. They say, oh, you haven't got married? Still single? They will come approach. So many, especially Muslim sister, I have experience with is when they become Muslims and they're still single, they rush into marriage. Yeah, because they want to learn, but they don't know how to learn, and then they find, hey, this is a good brother, come and approach her. Oh, practice Islam, big beard. Oh, salat with sujud mark here. Oh, mashallah. Okay, get married. Next thing, 6 months down the road, divorce. Sorry. Muslim men can marry 4. The sister say can marry 4. That's true. That's true. So because of that, a lot of Muslim single Muslim new Muslim sister, I actually have encountered this before. So I've seen cases like that. They rush into marriage, and then 6 months down the road, they got divorced. Because it's a totally different person, right? You could be a Chinese married to a Malay, and then after that you got married. Then every day sambal, I cannot, right? I don't eat sambal, man. I'm Chinese, right? Every day sambal, every day rice. I Chinese noodles, ma, right? Then you start, yeah, you can, and then you also realize you can never learn from the husband one. Wife cannot learn from husband one, right? Correct or not? Who is married here? The husband can teach wife one, can? Any husband teach wife? I cannot teach my wife. I send my wife to learn. Go learn. Then they realize, oh, mashallah, very good brother. I cannot learn from him. Because you become husband, wife is different status. Not student and teacher. So also different. So yes, getting married is good. Is encouraged. Take your time, right? Take your time. Do it the right way. For the single sister. The last one is a word about the internet. It has good sides. Some sites are useful to you, but many sites that damage you morally, financially, and ideologically. You can find excellent resources for learning Islam online, but it is as easy to be misled by wrong information. The internet has its fair share of pseudo expert with a lot of spare time on their hands. Okay, the whole point here is about Sheikh Google. Have you heard about Sheikh Google? You never heard? Ustad Google? I don't know anything. Google lah. Ask Google. Ustad Google. Sheikh Google. Very careful about this Sheikh Google. Sheikh Google ni never learn one. Never properly learn. Because today internet is very easy, right? We want something quick, we check. We just type. I can tell you, this is real story. There are websites out there set up just to confuse the Muslim. Okay, literally there are websites set up by the enemies of Islam to make you non-Muslims. Okay, so be careful. When you enter the website, you feel like, wow, very Islamic. But when you start reading, then if you're new Muslim, you don't know, it will misguide you. Okay, so be very careful. So here, actually, we have some, there's a list of website, right? So if you need help, after this, ask the brothers here, and the sister, ask the sister to get a list of the website that where we have filtered it. Not we, actually, many scholars have filtered it and say these are the safe websites that you can check, right? There are even websites that you can learn, right? You can learn. There's one called Universities of Online Islamic Universities, right? You can actually learn. This diploma program, Bachelor in Islamic Studies program, you can actually enroll and pay a small amount of fees and start learning online. Yeah. There are websites like this. So be careful with websites out there. So I wouldn't recommend as a new Muslims, especially you have not learned, to ask Sheikh Google. Okay, if you need any help, get a mentor. Like I mentioned earlier, get a mentor. If you need help, ask your mentor. And if your mentor cannot answer your questions, then try to ask him to ask Ustad. Ask Ustad Hussein Yi. Because you may not be able to get Ustad Hussein Yi all the time. Right? Sometimes even Ustad Hussein Yi teacher, you are shy to ask question. Right? Or you may not come. Right? Numerous emails, groups, and chat rooms serve their audience with a mix of good and bad information. Many new Muslims are tempted into cyber dating to find a spouse. Cyber dating. This is a new thing nowadays, right? Cyber dating. The halal dating, they call it. Some really halal, I would say yes. But some, only Allah knows. So again, check. We also have, I think we even have a brother who set up a halal dating online with his own wife. It's doing quite well. It's a Malaysian thing. So you can check out some of the genuine sites. People report anger and frustrations after having bad online experience. This one, we should refrain ourselves, typing all these very bad comments in, especially Facebook. Where else? Nowadays, nobody use Facebook, right? They use what? Instagram. They said Facebook is for old men. Instagram, Twitter. So refrain yourself being a keyboard warrior, I call it. Don't engage in the cyber war with another person. Someone insult Islam in Facebook, and then you also want to defend. There's no point. No point. The shaitan will keep telling you, go, rebuke him, talk, smash him. Don't listen to the shaitan. Refrain yourself. I remember one of my sheikh, he told me once before, he said, you cannot entertain all this kind of thing. You cannot. There are too many out there, so you cannot. If you have one person talking to you directly, insulting, then yeah, maybe you can rebuke him, in real life, face to face, but not in Facebook, especially when you have WhatsApp group. You have a WhatsApp group, and then the WhatsApp group contains many people. You have Muslim and non-Muslim alike, and suddenly one guy shares some stupid things, and then you feel like, oh, this is insulting, so you want to refute. No, don't. Not that you don't want to defend for Islam, but there's no point doing that in the WhatsApp, in the Facebook. There's no point. Because majority of the time, people don't even read what you say. Correct or not? Even if you write something which is very good, very well written, very eloquent, you send, nobody read. Nobody cares. Because if they have the intention to insult, you think they were going to read? They don't care. Right? So normally what I normally do is, if I see something like this, I just keep quiet. Or I will say, if you really want to know what's the truth, come and see me in person, I'll talk to you. Right? And normally they don't come. Why? Because they're not sincere. They just saja more insult. Right? They just want to let go the emotion. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, I promise you a house in paradise for those who leave an argument even though he is on the right side. Meaning he's correct, but he doesn't want to argue. So leaving argument, even though you are right, it requires a lot of patience and courage. And this is the strong people. Strong people. The Prophet ﷺ also said, the strong people are those who knows how to hold his tongue and not argue with unnecessary people. One of the great scholars, Imam Shafi, he said, when I argue with intelligent people, I always win. The only time I will lose is when I argue with stupid people. You definitely lose one. I say I will lose. Because he will speak whatever he wants. He will not going to listen to you. So much way stay away, just run away. No need to waste your time. Okay? Biggest problem for a new Muslim is to identify credible sites. The best word of advice about the internet is to know who you are getting information from and to approach the internet with caution. So like I mentioned just now, if you need a list, go talk to us. We'll have the list for you. And then so that you can benefit from the websites. Okay, it's 12 o'clock already. Any questions before we end? Any questions? Which I don't expect because this is the best class, right? Any questions? Yes, brother.
How did you all come, and how long it took to actually set foot into the masjid?
I actually went with Muslims friends after that. Yeah. So I find a colleague. I told him, "Can you bring me to the masjid? Yeah, for Friday prayer." And then he was like, "Huh? You never been to a Friday prayer?" I said, "No, I don't know." I said, "I don't know the etiquette." So he said, "Yeah, come, I bring you." So when I went with a colleague, that's when I first time set foot to the Friday prayer. Yeah. Normally when I go to like masjid for prayer, for the normal prayer, no problem. But for Friday prayer, because I don't know what is the rulings, because Friday prayer is something special. Right? So it took me a while, a few months actually. Finally, I got a colleague. I said, "Come, bring me this time." Then, yeah, he brought me. So I went with him. Then he teach me. He said, "Oh, this is what we do. You know, when the khutbah, you're not going to speak. You have to be silent. You don't play with your handphone." So that's when I know, okay. You sit, you just listen. Then after that, we're going to pray 2 rakaat. Then, yeah, he briefed me. Prepped me, basically. He prepped me. Yeah. So I had a friend. Yeah. So this go back to the point that pick a mentor. Yeah, pick a mentor who lives nearby your house also. Yeah. So if you can go Friday prayer with him, go to like Ramadan, for example, we have prayers, right? Go with him, and then he can ask him to brief you, prep you. What are the rulings? What you should do? Yeah. Because otherwise, suddenly you go there, you start to do whatever you want to do, then people are like, "Hey, this guy, what is this guy, man?" Because there are practices that is done by the community. Again, goes back to the Malay community. They already practice these kind of things during Friday prayer. So there are things that they do. Right? So you don't want to be outstanding. You don't want to change. You don't want to go there and be a joker, basically a joker. Good questions. Any other questions? Yes, sister. Sister, are you a Muslim or not? Not yet. Okay. Why?
First time come here.
First time, mashallah, alhamdulillah.
Why pork is haram?
Why pork is haram? Okay, it's a very good question. Why pork is haram? It is actually not mentioned in the Quran. Why pork is haram? It is only mentioned is haram. It didn't mention why. Yeah. Why it was not mentioned? Why? Because there are many things that Allah tells us to do. He does not tell us the reason. There are many things also He tells us the reason. Okay? Because the whole point is to not know the reason, then do. The whole point is about submission. You submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you say you believe in Allah and He is your creator, you submit to Him. Okay? Before I explain your questions, I give you one example. You work, right? If you get an email from your boss, your number one CEO, suddenly send an email to you and say, "Come to my room now, I want to see you." Will you go and see him, or are you going to reply his email and say, "Why? You will go to see him, right? Why? Because you recognize he's the number one, right? So this is the whole point of Islam also. You recognize Allah as your creator. There are things that He asks you to not do, you submit. You know it is good for me. When He asks me to do something, it is good for me. And when He asks me to stay away from something, it is also for me, not for Him. Now let's go back to why pork is haram. We don't know, right? I mentioned. But if you go to the Bible, it actually mentioned. The Bible actually mentioned. The Bible mentioned why pork is haram. It was actually mentioned in many places in the Bible. Okay, in many places, it mentioned why pork is haram or swine is haram. Why? The Bible says because it's not clean, unclean, not clean. Then you go back and then you think about the medical research. Actually, many medical research has proven that pork, it is truly unhygienic. It's not healthy. Yeah. Actually, I stopped eating pork before I even become Muslim. From a medical doctor, he advised me, and the medical doctor even not a Muslim. He told me you should stop eating pork because I have a slightly high cholesterol. So he told me, don't eat pork. I said, huh? Don't eat pork? Chinese or what are you talking about? He said, I'm also Chinese. I also don't eat pork. He said, the Malay got it right, Actually, the Malay got it right. I also don't eat. It's not good. You shouldn't eat. Then I listened to his advice. I actually stopped eating. Yeah, so even the doctor knows. Yeah, the doctors will tell you it is not clean. So again, to go back to the original question is, why pork is haram? If you want to find in the Quran, you won't be able to know the reason. Yeah. But that doesn't stop us from trying to find the wisdom. Because as a Muslim, as a believer, you should always think about it. What are the wisdoms behind this? Right? And then one of the wisdom is maybe it's because it's not clean. Yeah. And if you really look at the pig, the lifestyles of the pig, you also see actually they are also not very hygienic. Right? This one you can YouTube lah. You find Google, YouTube, you will see the pig lifestyle is really unhygienic. Yeah. So there's a saying that we are what we eat, right? So if you eat pork, then you may be like a pig. So you don't want to be. And this is why you see the Muslims' food, the halal food, are all from the vegetarian animal, right? Like the cow, the goat, yeah, the tame animals, huh? Unless you disturb them, not the fierce. Very good question, although it's not the topic, but yeah, we open any question you want to ask. Okay? Okay, time's up. Okay, the sheikh is coming for level 2. So we will just end. If you have any questions, I will see you outside. You can still ask me. Okay, I'll hang out for another 10 minutes. Okay. Okay. Thank you for your time and thank you for attention. If I have said something stupid, please forgive me. Okay. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika. Asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.